Welcome everyone back to our regular Tuesday sessions. And this is where we talk about all things trekking in Nepal. And you have the opportunity to come along and join us, ask your very own questions, or send us some questions if you're watching the replay. Anyway, today what we're going to talk about is Nepal Trekking 101. So pretty much back to the basics about understanding permits and the regulations for trekking in Nepal. And one of the reasons we decided to do this was I often see questions in different Facebook groups about coming to Nepal or trekking Everest, and where people are asking, what permits do I need for this trek? Is it mandatory? Why do I have to do it? How much is it? Where do I get it? So we thought we'd we can't cover every single thing today, but we thought we'd at least give you an overview of the different type of permits that are needed. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Hill. I am a business and travel coach, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Dinesh Karki, who runs Nature Explore Trek. Now, for me, I first fell in love with Nepal a bit over 8 years ago now, when I turned up to Kathmandu, booked onto an Everest Base Camp trek with pretty much not much idea of what I was really doing at all, or what I'd let myself in for. And it turned out to be not only one of the hardest things that I'd ever done, but the most rewarding and the most exhilarating. And that was, for me, probably the kickstart to a journey of personal development and transformation. And I loved it so much that I came back a couple of years later and trekked around Annapurna Circuit. Again, a very hard experience, but also super rewarding. And so, like, the feeling that you get when you actually successfully complete a trek like that is like nothing else in this world. Anyway, that's enough about me. Dinesh is going to introduce himself, and then we will dive into today's topic.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle, and good morning from Kathmandu, everyone. I'm Dinesh Karki, born and brought eastern part of Nepal, which the big guy, the big Mount Everest is located. I came early in my age, as in this sector, as a porter, like supporting the people who trek in the mountains, like all over the Nepal. Been like almost half decade as a porter and supporting, then I upgrade as with my experience as a helping like assistant guide, cooking food in the mountains, especially in the under trekking, like camping trekking, and a lot of experience. And almost 1 decade of working in this sector, finally I became a guide, and I guided with one of the toppest level company in Nepal, like who run the most groups in the mountains, like Everest, Annapurna, Kanchenjunga, Manaslu, like all the most popular trekking area or trekking region in Nepal. Not only in Nepal, I also guiding and trek the group in India, Tibet, especially in the West Tibet, where the big number of people pilgrimage used to go every year and every season, like May to November. And after like a long experience as guiding in this field, me and my other friends, we decided to establish our own trekking company. One of the reasons why we established is providing the different services than the other in the market, as we have a long experience about field, about office, and that we saw from our one eye that why we can do different, why we cannot change something. That's our dream. So then last 8 years we run our company, as Michelle said, Nature Explore Trek, where Michelle and I meet when she was in first trip. And during this 8 to 9 years journey, now we have organize several like numbers of trips, not only like Everest and blah blah. We do all the high trips also. Like high trip means GST, Upper Great Himalayan Trail. It is the most demanding and adventure trip, and those normally not every agency, not every man can do it. It is kind of challenging, like almost similar like organizing Everest expedition. So we have like not only that, we do like some of the big trip in Kailas, in West Tibet and India, of course, Bhutan, it is our neighbors. And so we do kind of this work. And we have like hundreds of people already travel through us. And we have a really good, excellent feedback in our different social media like Facebook, Link, and TripAdvisor especially, and all over. So you can also see in our website. And then I also have a good opportunity to explore different countries, not only Nepal, like in West Europe, where I trek also. And I have a good memories from twice in my life, like 14 and 16. And I'm hoping in maybe more in the future, we'll see. So yeah, let's continue for this. That's I want to add for my about myself.
Well, you need to put Australia on your list too, because you've got to come and visit us and go to the beach and do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I will definitely I will visit. Maybe I'm in the December, January. We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll research more about this.
Okay, let's get back onto the topic of understanding permits and regulations. And I guess the first thing I wanted you to just expand for us is, what is the history of actually, like, why are permits required and different permits required for different areas? Where did that all come from?
Permits all requires from Nepal government.
Mm,
And like we have not only one permits, different region demand different permits. For example, if we do like normal trekking in Annapurna and Everest, we have the minimum they require two types of permit. The one it's in Annapurna it's called conservation area permit. Like it is like we have to obtain in the Nepal Tourism Board office, which is located in the center of the city.
yeah.
And another permit called Teams card, like
Mm,
trekking management systems. It is the organization of trekking agencies. So these permits, the trekking teams are especially they require for safety of guide and porter.
yep.
Because of if in case someone have a problem, like some porter got sick and need a rescue, so there is not a huge money to take from his family or from the company or from single person. So if we join with this trekking agency association, and they do this kind of rescue, their support. That's why we need this.
Okay, yeah.
And same thing, if we do the Upper Mustang, right? Upper Mustang is restricted forbidden area. It is just newly opened trekking area for all the trekkers, as it
Mm,
is hidden kingdom. So it was not like that's the reason they need a special permit, like restricted permit, and which
mm,
is little costly also for the travel to that
yeah.
area.
Okay.
And if we do the national park, like Everest, it is also covered by the national park, which is a national park name called Sagarmatha National Park.
Hmm.
Sagarmatha is in Nepali and in English is Everest. It's almost similar. So we need like national park tickets when we do the trekking in Everest region.
Okay.
And if we nowadays, if we all the local government they're starting to asking like another permit that we where we can buy at the same spot. So these are the and then sorry, I just want to carry one more, and we
Yep.
need another permit for climbing part, right? So not the same permit will work. Like for example, if we go to climb like over 6,000-meter mountain, like Mera Peak, Island Peak, Labuche Peak, or Chulu West, Chulu East, blah blah. So we need like different permit, and we have to apply from different, and then to get this permit you cannot get individually for especially the climbing permit and restricted permits and conservation permit. You have to go through the agent. So when we get permit, so we have to apply all our agency documents, otherwise as
Okay.
for security and safety. So
Okay.
yeah, so this how it works normally. So I will tell more later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically your Tim's card, and I was trying to find mine that's still packed away. So that's your Trekkers Information Management System, and pretty much that's the government's way of keeping track of who's out there, trekking and what they're doing. And then depending on what area you're going to, there's like conservation areas and national park permits and things like that. And then there is also the special trekking permits for the restricted areas. and then we have the climbing permits for above 6,000 meters. So there's quite a lot. And as I said, I do see some people making comments in social media groups like, do we have to get a permit? Is it necessary? Is it mandatory? Oh, no one's going to check. You don't need to. So what would be your opinion about particularly, I mean, I know if anyone treks with you, you will organize the correct permits, but if someone has decided to trek by themselves, what would your advice be in terms of like getting the permits? And, you know, these people who say, oh, you don't need them, don't worry about it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, of course. So those people who want to do individually their own, so permits definitely required, So even you have to go, you have to do a lot of work yourself. Like go when you once you arrive in Kathmandu, so you have to research and you have to find the location where you can buy the permit, and you need to you need to get there. That place in Nepal Tourism Board office. It is in the central of city, and it's quite hard to find the location. And then after, also you can buy the permit if you do the trekking in Annapurna. You can buy from a few places like Kathmandu, Pokhara, and Besisar for Annapurna Circuit.
Yeah,
But you have to do yourself, and there is a lot of documents required. You have to fill like at least 3 or 4 pages of form, all your details as tracking your and then you can get individual permit and you can track,
yeah,
right? But there is a lot of risky, like when you doing this kind of, and then if you go with agency and then buying like a permit through the agency and hire the guide or porter, so it's more safety. So that means you are giving some opportunity to work for Nepalese men
yeah,
or women, and you also paying for government some taxes. That means you are helping a lot for the Nepal economics, right?
mm,
So you can do the individual, but I would highly suggest for those people who are those minded people who are planning and coming and done the trip. So go through the agent. So for your safety and security,
yeah,
and you will be much enjoyed. Even like the guide and porter will be not walk all the time if you don't want. They can also go a little front. They can stay behind. But the main things is your safety and security. We have so many bad experience and bad news. Even the earlier this year, a lot of individuals were lost their life in the mountain because of the dislocation, lost the trail, and especially when you go to a remote area, remote section of the mountains, there is no communications of any phone or Wi-Fi, anything.
okay,
That time you have very hard to communicate with some Nepalese, some local people, so nobody knows about anyone, any situations. So if
yeah,
you have someone with you, even like guide comporter, the guide comporter means who speak half basic English and who can also help you back. So he
yes,
can help you to communicate with local, and he can guide you. He can make your trip more comfortable, and that trip will make your lifelong experience.
yeah,
And you will leave your footprint in the mountains, but carry on your mind your experience and memories for a lifetime. So
yeah.
go through the agents. It might be a little bit costly for you, but it will be more worth it for you.
Yeah, sometimes, and this is the way I approach things personally, sometimes it's worth like paying a bit more upfront, or like, paying somebody to help you, uh, particularly if, this is only your first or your second trip to Nepal, that, it comes down to that fundamental question: what sort of value do you put on your life? And, are you going to risk your safety because you want to try and save some money by not paying for a guide or a guide slash porter? So that's just my 2 cents worth. Personally, I don't think it's worth the risk. A lot of people do it though, from what I understand. So with some of these areas, like particularly for the restricted areas and the conservation areas, is there a limit to how many permits that the government will issue, like over a particular season? Or and like I'm thinking like for some of these restricted areas, they might want to limit how many people can actually go through the area so that they can keep it in like pristine condition. Have you
No,
heard anything about that?
there's no limit. So any
Right.
trek, any travels, like any crowded can go, but they have
Okay.
to need a permit. Yeah.
So there's no need to panic. There's no need to rush. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just thought I'd ask because you know, sometimes some areas they limit the number of visitors per year because they want to limit the impact on the environment and things like that. So um what I might do, and you did mention about the special trekking permit. I'm just looking at my list so I remember the name. And some of the other ones, I might just share screen and we'll bring up one of the pages on your website, and then we can just have a scroll through so people can get an idea of what sort of costs are involved. And rather than us just listing off lots of costs, we can just talk through that. So just bear with me while I find that. Shan't be long. Oops, clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. Right, so here is the blog that inspired us to pick this week's topic. So when we've talked a little bit about the history and is it mandatory, and these are the different permits that Dinesh has mentioned already. And this is what a TIMS looks like, the Trekkers Information Management System.
Yeah. Can I just hold 1 second?
Yes.
This Teams card, the work. I'll just show you the old one. Okay, the difference. Yep. This one is the old one, right?
Just a minute. I'll just stop sharing so you can hold that up to the camera.
So
Yeah.
this Teams card is the old one, right? Before the online system.
That's the one I've got. Yeah.
Before the online system, right? But
Okay.
now that we saw in our website, their Teams card is now they're making online system. So
Right.
yeah, we don't have to go to get this in the office now. So but only travel agency can do online. Others
Right.
individual cannot. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
so not everyone can jump online. You have to be an
Yeah.
agent. So that's the TIMS card.
Yeah.
And as you can see, like it's not super expensive. What does this mean? SAARC.
SAARC country is like South Asia, like India, Bangladesh.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so I'm a non-SARC, right?
Yeah, you're like the foreigners, trekkers. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that one. So I guess for those people who are contemplating doing this for themselves, even though the cost isn't particularly high, you do have to have a look here and see that you do require quite a lot of information to put this together. And so this is the reason why when you're booking with somebody like Dinesh, they want to know quite a lot of information about you so that they can apply for these permits for you. So this is now we're moving on to, this is a trekking permit for
No, this one it is trekking permit, but restricted permit. Yeah.
restricted area. Yeah.
This
So,
paper we can see this paper is government paper, so
yes.
so all like this stamp, you can see the stamp and the sticker and the
Yeah.
picture, the when you arrive in Nepal at the airport, they're taking your picture like through the online, right?
Yes.
And according to your passport number and the visa number, we can get all details.
Right.
So
Okay.
according to that same system, we apply,
Okay.
we need so many documents for get this. That's why it is a little bit expensive to
So
buy the permit.
your job involves a lot of
Yeah,
paperwork.
you can see, Michelle, just can you scroll a little down? Yeah, stop.
Yep.
So you can see trekking fees is 500 US, right?
Oh,
See,
yes.
the permit.
Trekking fee 500. Yes.
So this is we buying Upper Mustang one. That's why,
Upper
right?
Mustang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to scroll down the list to give people an idea of some of the areas where you actually do need a restricted area permit. So if you have a look at some of these areas here, now these are quite high up, aren't they? And quite remote.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're looking at $500 for the first 10 days and then $50 per day after that. This area here, Gorko Manaslu area. So some of them, like, it's not a lot of money, but then as Dinesh said, it puts money back into Nepal, and it helps the government to maintain all of the areas and the facilities. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the variation in costs as well.
Yeah,
Now,
we can
this
see
is
the
Annapurna Conservation Area Permit.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, that one you can get in Kathmandu, or you said Pokhara and Beshashar as well?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
They're making more facilities, and every you know, like one thing I want to connect in the same
Yes.
talk. If someone left, for example, if someone forget or they don't want to buy, right, and they go, and if the police, local police and checkpost found if he doesn't have permit, then he have to pay the double. For
Okay.
example, this cost is like almost 3,000 rupees, right? We can see here.
Yeah.
But if in case some trekkers doesn't have permit, and they he found in Manang without permit, right? Then he have to pay 6,000 as penalty.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense as well.
Yeah.
And then you have National Park entrance fee. So this is the type of one that you would have if you were
Climbing
doing
permit. Yeah.
Everest Base Camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the climbing permit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We have also the list of the fees.
yeah, I was going to say, we have a look at some of the fees here. And so it's 55,000 to climb Mount Everest in autumn. Is that it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not so much in spring. Is that because it's not as good?
No, spring is the most popular season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's why they have like, and then this is also in the buying the permit in group, right? And
Oh,
individual.
okay. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. That's not just for an individual. That's for a whole group.
For the group, yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh, and then we didn't actually mention anything about this. For those of you who are photographers or videographers, if you actually want to do a documentary shoot, you do actually need to get permission for that as well.
Yeah.
15,000 rupees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I'll stop sharing now, but all of that information is on the Nature Explore Trek website under blogs. I will also, if you're watching the replay, I will put the link for that page on the website with the replay. So if you want to check anything out for yourself, all the information will be there. So Dinesh, was there anything else that you wanted to add about today's topic, or any final thoughts or suggestions that you might have for people?
Not really. I guess we try to cover the most of things what we need to talk in this half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, those permits are necessary, and then you're not only buying the permit, you're also supporting the nation, and then
Yeah.
you're maintaining the things, the road or trail, showing putting the arrows or putting the stairs in the difficult places, like in the remote areas. And as I said, those who are like planning trekking in Nepal, join with us, join through the companies, not all even Nature Export, but any companies you can choose, but your safety is main priority, and get good informations by the permit. And as I said, if you forget by the permit and if police found in the halfway, you have to pay the penalties. So this might be costly for you. And yeah, always go through the right person. go to the
Yeah.
right person and right place and manage well. That's
Yeah.
I want to tell.
Yeah, well, I'll just reiterate that too, because yeah, like paying a double penalty for not having the correct permit is a small price to pay if you put, your safety first and pay for the permit first. And always, I mean, I know it's difficult because particularly if you haven't been to Nepal before and you start doing some research and there seems to be like thousands of people to choose from online, but always do your research about who you are going to work with, and also put your safety as the number one priority, because there would be nothing worse than, particularly if this is a bucket list item for you, to get there and to have something go wrong, and actually end up having a really poor experience and coming away from it thinking, oh my God, I would never go to Nepal again. Because as I said, for me, I love Nepal and I love the transformation that it kickstarted in me. And part of the reason why I talk about it all the time is I want other people to hear and understand my passion, but also to experience it for themselves. Anyway, I will get off my soapbox now and stop lecturing. We will be doing another event same time next week, and I don't think we've decided on the topic yet, so we'll have a quick chat afterwards. So if you're looking at this on a replay and you're interested to hear some more, make sure you look out for upcoming events, but also check out the YouTube channel for all of our past events as well. So thank you very much, Dinesh.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure. And we will talk again next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Okay. Namaste.
Namaste.